Hi book friends, I'm Erin, this is Stevie, and this is Erin Go Read. This is the beginning of another Shorty September reading vlog, but I'm going to start it with actually a book haul because I just came home from a library sale. It's my first time ever doing a library sale. It was a $5 admission for Friday, so I was there right when it opened at 4 o'clock today. And then the books were, I think it was $2 for hardbacks and $1 for paperback, and so I spent a total of, I think, $28 today. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with what I got. So let me just show you real quick. I'm not going to go into like a grand explanation about anything or anything like that, just unless I have something to say about it. So I picked up 3 Barbara Pims. We have An Unsuitable Attachment, An Academic Question, and Jane and Prudence, and I love this cover. And I picked up the Barbara Pims because Gina Stanier always talks about how much she loves Barbara Pym, and I believe it's mid-century, and I love mid-century furniture. Maybe I'll love mid-century literature as well. So I also have Sherman Alexie's The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. I've heard of it, don't know anything about it, but it is a National Book Award winner, and so I thought, hey, why not? I have 2 Louise Penny's, The Long Way Home and A Fatal Grace. A Fatal Grace is, I think, the second book. It's the second or third. The Long Way Home, I don't know, it's several books, and I've read all of these. I've listened to most of them on audiobook. I think I've read maybe 3 in physical form, and I'm slowly trying to collect them all. The newest Louise Penny comes out actually on my birthday, November 29th. This book, I just saw Heather of a Soggy Expat book nerd reading this. Who Will Run the Frog Hospital, a novel by Lori Moore. And this is under 150 pages, so this would be a good contender for Shorty September. Pretty awful cover though, just so plain. It looks like a nonfiction book. Then we have Deacon King Kong by James McBride. I know this was really popular a couple years ago. We have a Casey McQuiston, One Last Stop. I have like dipped my toes into the romance world, and so I thought for 50 cents or $1, whatever it was, I would pick that up. I just recognized the name, really. I didn't even look at the description of the book. Then we have Room by Emma Donoghue. I hate this cover so much. I've never liked this cover, but I've loved the 2 books that I've read by Emma Donoghue, so figure I like that one as well. I picked up a second copy of Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. I found another copy in a little free library recently, but it is pretty trashed. Like, the spine is broken in 17 places, and it's quite falling apart. And actually, I keep thinking about this book because one of my clients at the gym has a pair of shoes that is very much like blue and gray, and then it has like dark hot pink. On it, like the embellishments on the shoe, and so I keep thinking about this book in this series because of Michelle's shoes. Then we have one that really, it just caught my eye. This is The Samurai's Garden. I think this is like post World War I. On the eve of the Second World War, Stephen, a young Chinese man, is sent to his family summer home in Japan to recover from tuberculosis. That's all I know about it. I saw a couple copies of this one, and this one happened to be in pristine condition, and so I picked that up. Then we have a fairly new release, A Slow Fire Burning by Paula Hawkins, a thriller. That's all I know about it. And then we have Layla Lamani's The Moor's Account. That's hard to say. Layla Lamani's The Moor's Account, which is an account of the Moors, I believe. In the stunning work of historical fiction, Layla Lamani brings us the imagined memoirs of the first Black explorer of America, a Moroccan slave whose testimony was left out of the official record. So this takes place in the 16th century. I've heard of it, don't really know anything about it. It was more like I recognized the title and the author's name. So that is what we have going on right there. This guy here. So I'm going to continue on with 7 Steeples. I'm still reading this. How much do I have left? I should finish this today. I'm on page 133 of like 175 or so. So I should just finish this right now, and then I'll see what I feel like reading next. Good morning. So, following along with the last vlog, I am attempting, basically I'm seeing how long will it take me to read for 24 hours. It did not start off well. Just life, the US Open is on. That's the big thing that's been US Open tennis. And so in the evening, I've been watching my matches instead of reading, or trying to fit some reading in while I'm watching tennis. So I'm at 5 hours and 45 minutes currently. That includes yesterday's bit of reading when I finished 7 Steeples. I don't know what to think about this book. Hang on, dog needs to go out. It's beautiful. It was fascinating in what it was doing and in the devolution, I suppose, of these characters. So I guess I haven't talked about what this book is yet in this vlog. I had talked about it in the previous one. So this young couple, Cy and Belle, and their 2 dogs, Voss and Pip, move. They basically just like leave their families. They leave everything they've ever known behind, and they move to this bigger than a hill. It's smaller than a mountain, and they purposely isolate themselves. They try to have as little contact with the outside world as they can. The most contact they have is with the landlord and the farmer, who's like the neighbor, but they don't want too much of that either. You see over time, just their house gets dirtier and dirtier. There's animals. The outside is starting kind of coming into the inside. One of the things that was so fascinating to me, just about like that was so true life, was just the little things that you stop seeing. The thing that like that just lives there now. We haven't fixed that. We just deal with the fact that that thing is broken, or that is the way it is, and we are not going to do anything to change it because that's just the way it is. But this was happening like in every aspect of their lives, and I don't want to give too much away of what else continues to happen. I feel like I would have enjoyed it longer if there was less. I feel like I would have enjoyed it more if there was less of it. It's still only a 200 or 180 page or so book. It just, for me, it felt like a lot of the same was going on and on and on. And I would have enjoyed the whole concept of it and the writing more if there was just less of it. I still think that it's brilliant in its way and what it did. I don't know how to rate it. I don't really rate things anymore, but I'm glad that I read it. I'm glad that I have read Sara Baume. I know I had heard a lot of A Line Made by Walking, which was I think it was her most recent book before this one. I feel like I'm not being very articulate this morning. I only had 1 sip of coffee so far, and so I need more. So next up, I took off the dust jacket. I'm going to pick up Anne of Avonlea, and this is a story, Anne of Green Gables and Anne of Avonlea. I grew up with the Megan Fellows movies, just like so close to my heart. My dad read me Anne of Green Gables as a bedtime story, for however long it took us to read that book. And but I've never actually read Anne of Avonlea. And I've read Anne of Green Gables multiple times on my own as well, but I never had a copy of Anne of Avonlea. And I just picked this up recently at a used bookstore. There is a beautiful dust jacket. Maybe I'll put it on at some point to show you, but I don't want to get up at the moment. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to start reading this. I have to work at the gym from 8 to 1 today, and it is, oh, my watch just wants to be dead now. 6:17. It's 6:17, and so I have about an hour and a half before I have to leave, so I should be able to get a good hour of reading in. She says that. Will she do it? So I got my new TV console, yay! It used to be just a coffee table there before. And then this couch, it's gonna go to family, my brother-in-law's brother and his fiance. They're coming to get this on Friday, but the new couch is arriving on Wednesday. So I'm gonna get this all vacuumed and cleaned up, get the dog hair off of it. And I actually think I'm gonna move this whole thing out of here and get all the mess that's back there cleaned up as well. So too excited about the new couch coming and just wanting to get space ready. My dad helped me move the couch out of the room, and so I have basically set myself up a little nest here on the floor. I have been sitting in that chair for a while, but I needed a change of position. So I've got a comforter from the spare bedroom, just kind of like folded up on the ground here. I've got my little just like pillow situation. So I have been reading Anne of Avonlea, which I'm about 60 pages in, and so far there was only one thing about the cow getting into the new neighbor's oats. It's the only thing that I remember from the movies. There's a major plot thing happens that had nothing, that was not in the movie at all. So it's very different. I'm loving this edition too. So this is an Ex Libris edition, and at the beginning of each chapter, there's this beautiful. Let me show you. There's this beautiful apple, like drawn apple. So I'm just loving the physical book of this, as well as just being back with Anne. But I'm wanting something a little bit different, and I'm torn between Ethan Frome by Edith Wharton and An Academic Question by Barbara Pym, and I'm thinking I might do, read like 10 pages or so of each. I wonder what the first chapter of this one I bought from I don't know. I bought it used, and it came from the Enfield Library in the London library system. So that's kind of neat. London Borough of Enfield, £5.99. Oh, that's not what I was looking for. I was going to see how long the first chapter is. Okay, so I guess it's not named the preface, but I suppose it is a preface before chapter 1 starts. So maybe I'll read the preface of Ethan Frome in chapter 1 of An Academic Question. The nice thing, the thing that this is only about 100 pages. This is like 180 pages, but look how big the font is. It's just my eyes. I can read that without my glasses. So I shall set to this in my little book nest here. I'm also starting to feel highly distracted because I just remembered that my book editor said that she's going to be getting me the her new set of notes on my current draft of the memoir by the end of this weekend. And just the fact that it's end of day Saturday, just kind of keep checking my email to see if maybe there's something, but nothing yet, sadly. I don't want to wish my weekend away, but I want the notes. I want the notes on the memoir. So I mean, on the one hand, it's nice to get the positive notes and kind of get the atta girls, and especially the parts that I've already made improvements on, but then also just to be able to have something to work on and to continue working on it, because it's been a good 2 to 3 weeks now that it's been just out of my hands and not working on it. It's Sunday morning now. I ended up just plowing through Ethan Frome. I just finished it. It was so good. It's just about 100 pages, a little over 100 pages, and it's the format of the novel is, I know there's a name for it, but I can't think of it. So in the style of how Wuthering Heights is told, where there's a traveler that comes to the house, and then the housekeeper tells him the story of the family. This is kind of like that, where the story is being told to someone else, and so it's the story of Ethan Frome. And basically the kind of the premise is that Ethan Frome is married to this woman Zenobia, or Xena, and he'd fallen in love with her when she was a cousin and was sent to him to help with his ill and dying mother, and he fell in love with her through that. Once the mom was dead, then she became the ill one and seemed to be either like actually chronically ill or seemed to be maybe a hypochondriac. It wasn't really clear to me, but his love for her really kind of faded, especially once a cousin of Zena's was sent to help care for her. Her name is Maddie, and Ethan becomes obsessed with her. And Zena, his wife, kind of represents just all the things that are evil and terrible about the world, and Maddie is like hope, the like hope just out of his grasp that he can't actually have. And so it's the story of what happens to them all. Can Ethan be happy? What will happen to the three of these in kind of this love triangle situation? And so yeah, I just absolutely adored it. Very, very good. So to summarize where we are, it is the morning of September 11th. I have read 4 shorties now, completing Ethan Frome and 7 Steeples in the last 2 days. And I am at 9.5 hours read of my 24-hour kind of reading challenge. Reading for 24 hours is a lot harder than I thought, especially because I'm not just doing a 24-hour period. It's like actual 24 hours of reading, but it's actually really helped to kind of keep me plugged in and coming along. So today is probably going to be kind of a big sports day. We got the U.S. Open, men's tennis finals happening, as well as it's the first day, the 49ers' first game of the season. So I'll probably be watching both of those, but also be getting a fair bit of reading done. And so I will be continuing on with Anne of Avonlea, and I would love to start An Academic Question by Barbara Pym as well. Dogs barking at something. So I would love to know, what shorties are you reading? Have you read? Are you feeling like you're getting more read, given that you're reading shorties and getting to finish them faster? I'm curious because I feel like that's kind of the case for me, that sense of accomplishment getting to happen more frequently. Thank you for watching. See you around the tubes.